What's up, guys? I am Colin Main. I have generated over $10 million in sales on Amazon in the past 6 to 7 years. I've helped over 300 students build their businesses from the ground up alongside their full-time jobs. Many of our students are doing $10,000 a month, all the way up to $40,000 a month in Amazon sales. They're absolutely crushing it. I wanted to make this video to share some life lessons and tell you guys how to not make the mistakes that I've made. I made some super fucking expensive mistakes along the way that cost me and my business partner, Scott, a lot of money, a lot of unnecessary stress, a lot of restful nights. And if there was one video that I could tell you to save you months and years of your life and thousands of dollars, it would be this one video. So make sure to pay attention if you guys are looking at getting into the Amazon space, if you guys want to add additional sources of income to your revenue streams. So I'll be breaking down the 5 things that I wish I knew before I ever sold a single product on Amazon. So I want you guys to take some notes, because if you skip even one of these lessons, one of my life lessons, it could cost you some money. So I don't want that for you. That's the whole point of this. If you follow me on social media, you know that I am constantly saying if I can ever help you in any way, I'm always more than happy to. So this video is for you guys to hopefully save you some stress and some money if you guys are looking at generating a second stream of income. So I encourage you guys to take notes, take as many notes as possible, because if you don't, you're going to lose money, and more than likely you're going to quit before this thing even starts working for you. I've seen it a million times. So please take notes. Everything I go over, it will save you a lot of time and a lot of money if you want to add an additional stream of income with Amazon FBA. Before I get into it, I just want to add and briefly mention that I'm going to be hosting a free live training event this Tuesday, June 16th. I'm going to be going over every single thing that you guys need in order to be successful with selling on Amazon and adding a very successful second stream of income into your portfolio. I'll be going over everything with my business partner, Scott, the hybrid system that we use, that the beginners in our program use to make an additional $3,000 to $10,000 a month selling on Amazon. They don't have any prior experience. They don't have to quit their full-time jobs if they don't want to. It's literally for beginners. It's for anyone that wants to get into the space. So click the link below in my caption. I'll put the link in there. So click that to register. And it's limited to only 500 spots just because the software that we use only allows 500 people. So hopefully I can help you out with that. I highly recommend checking it out, as e-commerce has greatly changed my life. All right, guys. Lesson number 1. Do not start with private label. I repeat, do not start with private label. Not that private label is bad. It's just bad for somebody who's getting started and doesn't have as much information or experience selling. So you can literally go onto Google and you can type in how to sell on Amazon, or you can go on YouTube and you can watch videos. There's a ton of creators that are talking about private label. So if you don't know what private label is basically you creating your own brand or product. Well, typically they go hand in hand, because if you have a product, you have to create a brand for it. Then you have to source the product from overseas. Typically, you put on your own logo and you put on your own labeling and your own packaging, and then you list it on Amazon hoping that somebody buys it. The problem with this for beginners is that you've never sold anything online before. So the margin for you to fuck up or make a mistake is a lot higher. And with private label, it's the hardest possible thing or path to success with e-commerce. A lot of times when people fail, it's because they start with private label, because you're going to be spending like multiple 5 figures before you even get a sale. Then on top of that, you have to typically wait anywhere from 6 to 12 months for products to be manufactured. You're going to be burning thousands of dollars in ad spend. Ad spend is money that you have to spend to market and advertise your products. You're going to be trying to build a brand that nobody's ever heard of before. So you're kind of like fighting an uphill battle, so to speak. Your product finally will go live, and it's going to be on like fucking page 200 of Amazon search results, because you don't have any reviews, you don't have any products on Amazon that you've been selling. So it's super, super hard to get started. You don't have any sales history for Amazon. That's what they want to see. And I'm pretty fortunate that I didn't make this mistake because that was the first thing I was looking into. I was like, I'm going to do private label. That's what I'm seeing all this information on. But luckily, I met my business partner, Scott, who had previous experience with Amazon FBA, and he already knew not to do this. But I remember I was super positive. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build my brand. I'm going to market my products. And it's a lot of fucking work. So the reality is private label is where you go after you've built an Amazon store, not before. Once you start getting some sales and you've built your Amazon store with another business model that'll talk about in the video, you can get into private label because you're going to have the experience and you're going to have the knowledge of how these sell and how to market it. So private label is not the move for somebody who's first getting into Amazon. All right, guys. Lesson number 2, you do not need to invent anything. You don't need to invent a product or create more work for yourself when you're first getting started. What I was mentioning in lesson number 1, when I was talking about there being alternate and easier paths to success, is what I'm going to explain right now. Something called retail arbitrage. So think of it this way. Walmart doesn't own anything. They don't have their own product. They don't have like Walmart, I don't know, toothpaste or something like that. All they're doing is they're reselling brands like Crest, Pampers, Nike, I don't know, Wilson volleyballs, Sony, Tide. They don't create any of these brands is what my point is. They're just reselling products at their store. And the reason why I'm using this as an example is because that's essentially what happens on Amazon. That's their business model, to sell on there. They're doing hundreds of billions of dollars every single year by following this model. So why not follow the exact same model, maybe on a smaller scale when you're just getting started? There's tons of brands that are selling everyday boring products that people actually need and not just want. That regular everyday people buy at a discounted price and then they can resell on Amazon. That's what retail arbitrage is. It's kind of like flipping products or just finding profit margins in products and then selling them on Amazon. That's all it is. It's the easiest path to get into e-commerce. For example, if I decide to sell Crest toothpaste on Amazon, I'm not going to have to build that brand. I don't have to spend any marketing dollars. I don't have to do any of that work. It's 1,000 times easier just to purchase something for a smaller price that's already selling, like Crest on Amazon. There's millions of customers that are searching for it daily. The product's already being sold on Amazon. It's already a trusted product. They're already promoting it. There's thousands and thousands upon thousands of reviews. All you need to do is fulfill the demand that's already there. This is what we call needs versus wants. You're selling stuff that people need every week. And as opposed to a want is it's not selling as fast. So all this stuff has been selling for decades on Amazon, Walmart, all these different platforms. So lesson number 2 is you do not need to invent anything. Please do not make this mistake. Why would you want to create a brand where, you're going to have to do 1,000 times more work? You have to market it. You have to have ad spend. You have to purchase large volumes. It's just a lot more work. And it's a much more expensive and costly entrance into e-commerce. So that's lesson number 2. All right, guys. Lesson number 3. Do not start with wholesale. I know it's a kind of a buzzword. Everybody's talking about wholesale with e-commerce. It is lucrative, yes, but do not start with it. 95% of the people that I see that they fail with getting into e-commerce is either because of lesson number 1, they started with private label, or lesson number 3, which I'm going over right now, they started with wholesale. Not to say that wholesale is not very lucrative, it is, but it's very difficult to get into at first. When people hear about reselling brands on Amazon, they typically think like, oh, fuck yeah, like I'm going to make some money. I'm going to go straight to the brand. I'm going to create a wholesaler account. I'm going to buy at discounted prices, and then I'm going to resell it, and then I'm going to scale my business model. I swear to God that every single Amazon or e-commerce guru is telling you to do this, and it's fucking people up. It's costing them money, and it's costing them their time. The reason the amount of Amazon sellers has been decreasing on Amazon since 2021, I think it's going down 25% yearly, is for this exact mistake. I can understand why, from a beginner's perspective, that starting with wholesale might sound like a smart strategy. Um, but I'll explain to you why it's not. Okay, so when you want to create a wholesaler account, which you can, if you want to create an account with a brand like, say, Crest or Pampers diapers, or I don't know, any other brand that has a proven demand, they're going to ask you for two things. They're going to ask you for an LLC and a reseller's permit, which is like those are super easy to get. They're a couple $100. But the thing that most people when you consume content and these gurus about e-commerce and Amazon and stuff like that, when they're making content, what they don't tell you, and for a specific reason, is that for beginners to start selling with those brands, if they wanted to get into wholesale, it's extremely difficult because the last thing that, say, I'll use Crest toothpaste. If you try to create a wholesaler account with them, the third thing that they're going to ask you after the LLC and your reseller's permit is selling or proof of selling history. Now, that's where you're fucked because you're not going to have any proof of you selling on Amazon. They want to see a sales history. Think of it as a business model. They're not just going to let anyone sell their stuff. They want to see if you can actually move the volume and expand their brand. It's it's just simple business. So that's the last thing that these gurus on YouTube and stuff like that won't tell you because they want to make it sound easier than it is. I'm here to get you the most results and you see the most success without giving you any fluff or bullshit. It's not going to be sexy, but if you follow what I'm telling you in this YouTube video, these 5 mistakes to avoid, you will be set up for greater success than had you not. So typical beginners, when they start, if you get into wholesale, you're going to spend anywhere from 3 to 6 months spending thousands of dollars and probably sending thousands of cold emails by getting ghosted by these big companies because they're not going to answer you because you don't have any selling history. And that's essentially why people get, I don't know, they fail. They just quit. And it becomes super difficult after that point if you're trying to do that. This is why most people give up on Amazon, they fuck up. Or you hear they're like, Amazon doesn't work. No, you just took the wrong path. I think they just spit. Anyways, you took the wrong path and they end up convincing themselves that Amazon doesn't work. It's not that complicated. You just need to have the right approach to have the most success in Amazon, I suppose. The solution of this is to follow a specific order and not just jump straight into wholesale or private labeling or anything like that. You need to build a selling history with online arbitrage, what I was mentioning in lesson 2. Yes. So you're going to purchase from smaller retailers and all you're doing is buying it at a discount or sorry, buying the product at a discounted price, like from Target or Walmart, and then you're going to resell it on a larger marketplace like Amazon with a profit margin, obviously. With online arbitrage, you don't need brand approval to get started selling. And because you're going to create a selling history on Amazon, once you have history of selling, then it becomes like 10, 20 times easier to contact these larger companies and get wholesale contracts because you can give them proof of you selling. Does that make sense? So, in summary, start with online arbitrage, buy and sell, flip smaller products to create selling history. And then once you've had a few months of selling history and you're generating capital off of that, obviously, then you can roll into wholesale and you can contact these wholesalers and it'll be a lot easier to get approval with that selling proof to them. So just keep that in mind there, guys. I don't really have enough time to explain all of this in this short video. I want to keep it as short and sweet as possible. I named this the Amazon hybrid cash flow system with my business partner, Scott. And honestly, this hybrid system is the right reason why me and my business partner, Scott, were able to generate 8+ figures in the last 6 years of selling on Amazon. So we got students that are selling anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 a month in sales consistently with only a couple months into their Amazon journey or having their Amazon stores. So It's meant for complete beginners. That's what this business model and system is. For example, Rob, before finally taking action, he was researching Amazon FBA. You probably saw him in my other YouTube video. And he was trying to get into wholesale, and he wasted like 8 months of his life doing so. Basically had nothing to show for it because it's very difficult. He executed this hybrid system, and now Rob's doing 21,000. Last month he did $21,500 in profits. So Rob's killing it. Yeah, it's a very proven and easy system to get into, but it is important to understand how to get into it properly. And when you're choosing the right products, it's even more important to have an actual proven strategy to start selling those products. Otherwise, you're going to burn time and you're going to waste money. So keep that in mind, guys. Once you have a proven strategy, start selling that product, create some cash flow, your profits, and a sales history. That's how you're going to build up your store and you can scale successfully. And once you have that, then you can get into wholesale. That's it. There's only so much that I can kind of go over in this YouTube video. I'm trying to keep it as short and condensed as possible. But if you guys are serious about getting to Amazon FBA, I'm going to be hosting a free live event Tuesday, June 16th. I'm going to break down everything, step by step, how this hybrid system works, also how to find profitable products, all the things that I wish that I knew when I was getting into selling on Amazon FBA. So you can register for free. I'll put the link in my description or my caption. Also, if you guys register, I'm going to send you guys a list of 81 winning products that I've already personally vetted myself. You can start selling them right away. There's profit margins in every one of those products. So check that out if you guys are interested. Lesson number 4, guys, is proper product selection. It's everything. So what I mean by that is choosing the right products that are going to sell. It's the most important piece of the puzzle after choosing the right strategy to sell on Amazon. 99% of the beginners that I see who fail on Amazon is because they pick the wrong product. Not because the business model doesn't work, not because they're lazy or they're not smart enough to do it. It's not because Amazon's oversaturated. It's simply just because they picked the wrong product to try to sell. So let me actually tell you a story about God, I kind of feel bad about it. Okay. About it now, a few years ago, I knew a guy and he dropped like 2,500 bucks. He bought 150 of those fidget spinners. Do you remember those things you like held in your fingers and you spun them around and they like spun? If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. He watched a TikTok video and they were trending. Everybody was using them, and he thought the design looked cool and he thought it was a cool item. So he bought like 150 or 130 of them. They got sent to Amazon. Within the first 3 weeks, I remember he made like, I think he sold like 25 of them, and he was all jazzed up. He's like, hell yeah. Like he'd never made any sales before. And he like had the notion that he's like, I found a winning product. Like this is going to be the product that makes me rich. He's a buddy of mine, and unfortunately, that trend died. You don't see those anymore. They were like super big for like a summer or something like that. And the TikTok videos stopped performing. People stopped posting Instagram videos of them and stuff like that. And hundreds, probably thousands of sellers flooded Amazon with those fidget spinner things, the tumblers or whatever the heck they're called. Yeah, I think everybody kind of had this. Everybody kind of had the same idea. Well, these are going to make me a bunch of money, and they're chasing trends. Do not chase trends, guys. The products that are winning on Amazon long term are not the trendy ones because they explode and then they fizzle out. That's just how trends work. I'll use Crest or Pampers or Tide, as I mentioned earlier, as an example. Those 3 products right there, they're winning consistently, weekly, because people are buying them weekly. They're a need. They're not a want. They're boring everyday products that are not going out of style because they were never really in style. So the other massive mistake that beginners typically make when they're getting into buying is not having the proper system in place to know what product to buy and what products not to buy. Most beginners watch, I don't know, bunch of random YouTube videos, or they're Googling on TikTok they're Googling and looking at TikTok videos and stuff like that. And they're listening to some sales guru tell them that they're going to that they're going to become millionaires overnight. Um, that's not the case. E-commerce is a long-term game of scaling and building your inventory and increasing your profit margins. Yes, there are a 1 in a million chances that you, I don't know, hit a trending product and you make money. I don't know. I've never met anyone that has that story. I keep hearing of all these stories of people like, oh, I sold 1 million units of this product. I've never actually met one, and I've been in the space for 6 to 7 years, and I've met guys that are doing tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars in sales. So stick with a proven system, guys, and scale from there. Lesson number 5, guys. Amazon is not oversaturated. Google all the data that I'm going to tell you in this lesson. You can see it for yourself. Amazon is not oversaturated. And it drives me crazy when I hear this. I've been doing e-commerce and selling on Amazon for probably the past 6 to 7 years. And I constantly hear Amazon is too saturated. I hear this over and over again, over and over again. Me and my business partner, Scott, and I just laugh every time because people said it 5 years ago. They said it's oversaturated. People said it 3 years ago. They say it 1 year ago. And it's not true. It was never true then, and it's not true now. Amazon is consistently growing and getting bigger every single year. So to give you some context, in 2025, last year, Amazon paid out around $575 billion. That's billion with a B. They paid that out to third-party sellers. What a third-party seller is myself or what you would be. Amazon's allowing you as an additional party to sell on their platform. They didn't pay out $575 billion to Amazon itself. That's just to sellers like you, me, my business partner, Scott, my students, everybody. That number is growing 15% annually, year over year. So next year, it'll be over $660 billion that they're going to pay out. The year after that, well over $750 billion. And a vast majority of people do not know this. Meanwhile, the number of active sellers on Amazon has actually been declining since 2021. I think it's going down about 25% a year. So that means there's more buyers every single year, and there's fewer sellers every single year, which is literally the opposite of saturation. It's the definition, or what is known as an open market. So you might be asking yourself, or like thinking, why are all these sellers, or why are there less and less sellers every single year? I already explained it. Basically, it's because Amazon sellers have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and they commit the same mistakes over and over again, and they make no sales, and then they see no progress, and then they quit. That's literally what the data shows. Amazon does roughly $1.9 billion, billion with a B, every single day in sales. There are 310 million active customers on Amazon, meaning people buying. There's about 1.8 million active Amazon sellers. That means there are about 170 buyers for every single person selling on Amazon. There's so much goddamn money. There's enough money for everybody. The platform is paying out more money to independent sellers than ever in the history of Amazon. They just keep growing. I've been in the Amazon space for 6, 7 years now. Yeah, I can tell you every single year the profit margins are getting bigger, and Amazon FBA is getting bigger and bigger. And it's because of that gap. So if you listen to people that are saying Amazon is oversaturated, you're just listening to people who either, one, tried Amazon, they fucked up, they used the wrong strategy, for either selling or buying products, they saw no results, or they're listening to somebody who did that. Because anybody that's selling successfully on Amazon knows these actual facts and knows that it's a very, very lucrative, viable business model that is growing every single year. Just think of the company Amazon. Think of Jeff Bezos, one of the richest guys in the world. I think he's the top 3 richest guys. There's a reason. So, in closing, I'm telling you right now, these 5 lessons will save you hundreds or maybe thousands of hours and then tens of thousands of dollars, more than likely, if you keep these in mind. What really matters is executing, because behind choosing the right products ordering the right amount, timing the transition into wholesaling, and scaling your Amazon FBA business predictably, it's really just systems behind it and just understanding the systems and the processes to do it intelligently. So that's what I wanted to provide in this video for you guys. Um, yeah, if you guys are wanting to get into Amazon FBA, as I mentioned earlier, me and my business partner Scott, we're going to be hosting a live event. It's free training. We're going to be going over a lot more information that I shared in this. And I'll literally teach you the exact systems you can follow step by step on how to find profitable products, our entire hybrid cash flow system, every detail, the math behind making $10,000 a month in profits on Amazon. And I'll be doing a live Q&A at the very end of it to answer any and all questions that you guys may have. So if you guys are wanting to register for that, I'll see you guys there. It's June 16th. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can click that. You guys can register. We're going to be going over everything. Yeah. So hopefully I can see you guys. We're going to be showing some of our students. We're going to have some of our students on there. They're doing $10,000 to $40,000 a month in sales. You can ask them questions as well. Everything's fully transparent. It's open to you guys. It's free to register and you don't need any prior experience. I think that's all I got for you guys. So there's only 500 spots. So click the link, have it saved in your calendar. And I will see you guys there. Oh, another detail is if you do register, you'll get access to that 81 profitable product list that I was mentioning. These are all validated products that I'm going to be, or that I already went over. Yeah, you can start selling them right away. So that's my little gift to you guys. That being said, I hope you guys found this video valuable and hopefully you guys can crush it in the e-commerce space. If you guys got any questions, if you follow me on social media, you guys know that I say if there's any way that I can help in any manner at all, I'm on all my platforms. It's me answering all the questions. You're talking to me. Takes a lot of my fucking time, but I like connecting with you guys and providing as much value as possible. So shoot me a DM on YouTube or on Instagram or throw a comment up and I'll answer as best as possible. So love you all, guys. Have an amazing one. Anyways, I gotta go. Peace. I'll see you guys on the training.